Hello and welcome to another round of Fragmaster's Fox Friday in Live for Speed. Tonight we're at round 8 at Westhill International Reversed, and we've got two 25-lap races coming your way in the 8th round of the championship. Let's get this show on the road. Michael will be joining us shortly. I'm Peter Butcher and you are watching Sim Broadcasts. Thank you and welcome along. Here is the format for today. Two 25-lap races preceded by a one-shot qualifying session that's going to get started in around about 2 minutes' time. And race 2 tonight is going to have a reversed top 15, so that's always going to spice things up and lead to some drama. Race 2 here in Fox Friday, always something to watch out for. And yes, this week we are celebrating 4 years of sim broadcasts in Live for Speed and iRacing, so thanks very much for being a part of the journey. And we hope to be doing this for a long time to come. Here is the Fox, the Formula XR, the 2-litre inline-4 mid-engine rear-wheel drive car, 190 brake horsepower, 490 kilograms, a handful, and it has a decent amount of power and a lot of downforce, so not too much of an event around Westhill International, but still tricky, especially in close wheel-to-wheel battles. And here is the provisional schedule. We are going to be broadcasting 12 rounds throughout the year. Last time out for round 2 in January, we saw Fern Bay Green reversed, an absolute classic in the Fox, and the racing was pretty great too. We had 60 laps around there, and we will get to the championship standings in a moment. But tonight we're at Western International reversed, and then we have a race each month until the end of the year, and the final round on December 20th. Here are the driver championship standings then. It's Fragmaster's Rex, who of course took the victory in race number 1, followed by TJ and Roger Chen, Onifus, Dr. Zesty, Fatal, Happy D, Koivunen and Dark round out the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship standings. We have about 3 pages of results already. We are in round 8 and there's still time for you to find yourself on this list. So if you really want to get involved in the Fox Friday Championship, it happens every single week. We are broadcasting 12 of them throughout the year. So please join on a Friday evening. One-shot qualifying followed by one race for the rounds that are not broadcasted, and then 2 races for the rounds that we are showing up to cover the action. There are 47 drivers in total on the Drivers' Championship standings. But yeah, it's close at the top. Rex leading the way with TJ very, very close behind. The Fox champ, the guy who has won the Fox Championship more than anyone else in recent years, leads the way there. So enough about the Drivers' Championship standings. Let's have a look at those all-important teams. And it is Fragmaster who lead the way on this one, as to be expected in their home championship, and it's Rex and Onifus who are carrying all the points for them, with Road Appraiser in P2 with TJ and Doctor there. MRC, Good Drivers, FM 2, Master Race Car 2, World Class Lions, Road Appraiser 2, Sim Racing Polska and FM 3 are your top 10 in this one. Qualifying is underway in the background. Fraz is sending out the drivers, and we're going to get in on that action in just a moment's time. Yeah, here is the track then, and we have some drivers out for some sighter laps on their qualifying, and we are going to pick up with the first of those drivers who is going to start a hot lap, and that is Onifus, who's coming up to the final set of corners. Out of the final corner comes Onifus. I hope this is the start of the real qualifying session, because we've currently got 5 minutes on the clock, which will not be enough time for everybody to get out, but we will see. Need confirmation from the organisers as to what is happening there. But anyway, we have cars out on the track, ready to set lap times. There we go. We have some time back on the clock. So this is the official qualifying session, and we have some drivers out on the circuit. And we are watching Onifus. We have a few other drivers who are out. Al Payson is out on the track, and some other drivers will be getting ready to wind up their laps. But yeah, Onifus, the first car, winding up the Formula XR to set the benchmark time for everybody else to follow in the session. Welcome along on this Friday evening to another awesome Fragmaster's Fox Friday. Through the quick chicane comes Onifus, and into the final sector in a few moments. looks to be pretty good so far. And in this reverse direction, you can still make good use of all the runoffs and the curbs. There are some corners where the curbs are your friend, and some other corners where they are definitely not your friend. The track was not designed to be driven in this direction. But through the penultimate corner, a big slide, and very, very lucky to keep the wheels off the grass. I think there might have been a minor touch, almost a catch there from Onifus. Really would have lost a little bit of time going through there. And now straightens the car for the run down to start-finish, and we're going to get our benchmark time. There was a bit of an error at the end, but it's a 1 minute 50.89 for Onifus, our benchmark time. Roger Chen is going to be the next car across the line. He's just approaching the final sector line. And let's see if he's managed to put the lap together better than Onifus did. And up to the line then comes Roger Chen, weaving the wheel a little bit, and goes pole with a 1:55.9, so 0.3 of a second quicker than Onifus. And it's going to be a quick one because we've got Al Payson coming around the final corner now as well. Where's Al going to go? Let's see what he's managed to get on his flying lap. Up to start finish he comes. And it's third with a 1:52.78. He won't be happy with that, I don't think. But there we go. Third at the moment. Into the back chicane he comes. There's actually a car there on off the track, which is a little bit unusual. Rex catches some grass in the middle of the chicane as well. It was Finn UK, his teammate, who was off the track and would have definitely been a bit of a distraction there. But here we go, up to the final sector for Rex. And if you've just tuned in, this is the one-shot qualifying session before the start of our 2 races this evening that we're going to have for round number 8 of the championship. Final corner for Rex. Where is he going to go on our list? Across the line, and it's pole position for our championship leader. Unsurprising, really. 0.07 of a second in the lead. Next, we have Friends United Rocket, who's just entering the final sector of the lap in that bright green and red Fox livery. And up to the final corner, up to the line comes Rocket now. And he goes P5 with a 54.57. Next to set a line, next to set a lap, we have Hosep in a sort of custard yellow, or a mustard yellow. I think it's closer to mustard. Final corner for Hosep. Was recently a teammate of Rex. However, Rex has joined the Fragmasters team. Seemingly a great signing for the Fragmasters team. And Hosep there going P4, beating a number of experienced drivers. Next, we've got Connix from Master Race Car. What can he do on the run up to the line? Oh, and onto the grass for Connix there, and he was lucky to keep that car in a straight line. Through the final corner he comes. And up to start finish for the first time and only time in the session. And it's P4 for the MRC driver. And Adal, his teammate, is very, very close behind, coming to the line. We just pick him up there. And Adal goes P4. Happy D is also in the final corner. The Master Race Car drivers very close together on this one-shot session. They're coming thick and fast. Tallenberg is just behind as well. P3 for Happy D. Johnny SVK will actually be next across the line. Tallenberg just starting a lap, but was pretty close behind his teammates. Johnny SVK in that lovely kind of bumblebee yellow, white and black livery there. Andy, having the one-shot qualifying session, you're guaranteed to see every single car, at least briefly. The MRC drivers flashed through our screens incredibly quickly, so didn't get as much of a chance to take in their individual liveries, but sometimes that's the way it works. Drivers are sent out of the pit lane, and it's up to them really how they set their car up for the warm-up lap, and they just ended up being a bit close together. But Johnny SVK, plenty of time watching him as he comes across start-finish from what looked a pretty tidy lap. Let's see where he goes in relation to his teammates, and it's actually last place for now, 1:56.8, so a smooth lap, but ultimately not the best of the day. Finn UK, final corner, had to restart his lap, I think, because he was off on the grass at the chicane earlier and out of place. Normally teammates stick together. That's the way the qualifying session works, and Finn UK goes into P9 with that attempt. Then we've got the final MRC driver. It's Tallenberg who's coming up to the final sector now. Where is he going to go in relation to his teammates? Normally pretty rapid, so expect to see him up the order somewhere. Let's see what he can manage. MRC have a lot of drivers who are incredibly experienced in the Fox. This championship really does bring together the drivers who have the best experience with this car, racing it week after week after week for lots and lots of laps. Across start finish, Tallenberg actually P12, not a good lap. There must have been a mistake on that lap. There's no way that Tallenberg would be 10 seconds off the pace. We've got Jari Katila coming to the line for World Class Lions. And then we've got Pekka Koivunen, but across the line comes Jari, and it's P9 provisionally. So Tallenberg there with an absolutely shocking lap time from him. Very much out of character. Let's see what Koivunen can manage. Normally a solid pair of hands. Can sometimes show up for qualifying, but sometimes qualifying is definitely not Pekka Koivunen's strong suit. Let's see if it's his day. Let's see if he can manage a competitive time in this qualifying session. Out of the final corner comes Pekka Koivunen up to the line. Let's see what he can manage here. And it is P10 for Koivunen. DJ just winding up for a lap there. Next car across the line is going to be Doctor. Just a little bit of a wait for the road appraiser drivers here. So up to the final sector he comes. I don't want to jinx it by saying that not too many of the drivers falling foul of that penultimate curb, but now I've said it, I feel like a load of drivers are going to fall off the road. But so far, for the 16 cars that have set laps, or 15 at the moment, but this will be the 16th, Doctor goes P4. Good effort for him. Next we have Lucas. Dark, meanwhile, we missed Dark finishing his lap. Dark went P2, just 1/100th of a second off Rex's time. So an unbelievably quick lap there from Dark. Doctor slotting into P4. And here comes Lucas then for Road Appraiser. Up to the start finish. And across the line for P9. TJ will be the next across the line to place himself in qualifying. Can he get anywhere near Rex? Let's see, that looked pretty committed through there. And now through the final corner. Difficult to know how he's managed on his lap, so a little bit of an unknown. Let's see where TJ can go. Oh, wow, really hugging the line in only P5. 2.5 tenths off Rex and Dark there at the front, and TJ will be starting this race at best in P5. Across the line comes Ricardo. Ricardo for Road Appraiser beats 2 of his teammates and goes only 3/10ths of a second, 3/100ths of a second, sorry, behind Dark. So seriously close. Oh, and Master drops the car. He drops the car at the penultimate corner, and that is the first car that we've seen actually do that. And that is going to be, for sure, the slowest time on the board. And I'm pleased to say that joining us in the commentary box now is Michael Málek. Welcome to the broadcast, Michael. Good to have you here.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to be here after some technical difficulties I had. I'm looking forward to see some exciting racing tonight.
Yeah, good to have you here, Michael. And we'll just catch up on who the next driver across the line is going to be. We've got Badaruk next, who's coming to the line, closely followed by Guy. And Guy goes P11, Badaruk slots into P19, and Twincam will be the next car across the line for Born to Race. P13 for Twincam there, Michael, and he's going to abort his lap in a style. There we go. Well, there we go. We've got Berea coming up to the line now in a Ferrari livery. Let's see what Berea can manage. Twincam clearly not happy with his lap there, Michael. P13 for him is a little bit unusual. Just couldn't get the lap together in the end, I guess.
Yeah, definitely, but he's strong in the race, and I think he will finish. Oh, this was a very close call for Berea. But anyway, I'm sure that Twincam will have his good time in the race and will finish strongly.
Yeah, Berea goes P21. And will need to spectate to finish his lap. Not sure he's aware of the rules. Potentially he's doing another lap on the circuit, and there's another driver coming up behind. Hermani is next up as Berea removes himself from the session. Hermani penultimate corner then. after Hermani, it's going to be Iron Donny. So P22 only for Hermani there. And this will be quickly followed by Donny. Here he comes to the line. What's it going to be? P13, so Steele's twin cam spot. And then Mandula, who is kind of way back actually. A long way back on the lap. Clean penultimate corner, and then up to the final. And then a run to start finish. Puts Mandula P8, solid top 10 performance there, provisionally. Anyway. Now we've got Perry D, who is driving in this pretty dark grey Formula XR. And as the number of cars winds down in this qualifying session, we've got some big hitters coming. We've got Gabor, Zesty, Thamuli and Mantas all queuing up to do a lap. So we've got some quick drivers coming here, Michael. We'll see what they can manage as the session winds down. But here comes Perry D up to start finish. And P19, so just squeaking inside the top 20, but pretty sure that in a minute Perry D is going to be outside the top 20 for sure. Gabor is coming to the line, following Thamuli, who's just starting a lap, but here comes Gabor.
Gabor is about to get through the final turn, and let's see if he's able to take the provisional pole position. So far a very clean line. And let's see if he beats the benchmark of 1 minute 50 seconds point 52. And he does so quite comfortably with 1 minute 50.19. Next to finish the lap is it should be Zesty, and as you can see, with my heart broken, you can see that Zesty, after 4 years in a master race car, has left the team and joined Sidus. So on behalf of the whole MRC team, we wish him all the best and hope we will all finish ahead of him.
I like that. But yeah, congrats to Zesty, and commiserations to MRC for losing a talent. Let's see if he can get anywhere near Gabor. Yes, he can. He goes provisional pole. 0.2 of a second, quicker than Gabor. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Zesty definitely went for some less ambitious team and sets the provisional pole. As we are now watching Mantas trying to break the pole position routine for Sidus. Let's see how it goes for him. 2 more turns to go. So far a solid split.
Yeah, Michael obviously not salty at all about losing a teammate.
Yeah, Zesty was a fantastic teammate, and I'm sure he will have a good time with some new friends inside us, and we will see great performances from him, as Mantas pretty much gives up his lap and he's P30, so it's a lot of time lost.
Yeah, he'll be trying to get up from the back, I guess, during race number 1, which is coming up in a few moments' time. We've probably got less than 10 drivers left to set a lap here. Thamuli up to the line, P17 for him. Probably won't be happy with that, but Zesty, what a lap to start his Fragmaster career, if you want to call it that. And out of the pit lane comes Onifus, who is Onifus going to be allowed to do another lap? No. So that is it.
Qualifying.
Yeah, that's the end of the qualifying session. Everybody that is going to set a lap has set a lap, which means we can go through the full order. And on his debut for the team, Sidus Zesty sets the provisional pole ahead of Gabor. Well, That's a story, isn't it? We've got lots of drivers changing teams at the beginning of 2024. Rex switched from good drivers to join Fragmasters in the top three. Gabor, the long-time Sidus member and champion in so many series, currently has taken P2 in this session. Then Dark for Road Appraiser, Ricardo for Road Appraiser, Roger Chen, still an independent driver as far as I'm aware. I wonder how long that's going to remain a thing. Probably the only independent driver even on this entire top 20. So yeah, maybe Roger isn't the sort of guy who wants to join a team, but we will see. Definitely some talent there. Then we've got Doctor and TJ who bolster the top 10. Happy D and Mandula there for MRC and a race green respectively. Then it's Onifus for Fragmaster, who had a compromised qualifying lap. Then Adal, Conix, Gui, Lucas, Iron Donny, Thamuli, Twincam, Hosep, and Al Payson is on the top 20 spot. Over on the second page, just 12 times with Yari Katila, Perry D, Pekka Koivunen, Finn UK, Rocket, Badaruk, Beraher, Hermani, JSK, Tallenberg, Mantas, and Sim Racing Polska Master. Michael, that's quite a grid of talent that we've got there, and it should be an exciting couple of races for sure. We've got two 25-lap races to look forward to, and race 2, of course, the top 15 are going to be reversed for a frantic race with this lot. I mean, the top 10 is absolutely stacked. It's going to be a good one, I think.
Yeah, we have 32 great drivers ready to battle for the win in both these pretty much shorter races. As usually, we are running one long race over 1 hour. And honestly, I think that Zesty might be able to win this first race from the pole position. As we know his performances in Fox, he's really strong in this. And while being a little bit salty about him leaving us, I think it will not affect his performance in any way, and he will be as strong as ever.
Yeah, well, you've got plenty of MRC drivers in the grid here, which is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, we are thrilled to be covering another round of Fragmaster's Fox Friday. Today is, of course, the fourth. Well, this week is the 4th anniversary of our us as Sim Broadcasters, a team broadcasting in Live for Speed and iRacing. So thank you very much again for tuning in. We would love it if you could give us a follow or a subscription on Twitch or a subscription on YouTube. These sorts of things really do help us out. And yeah, we are celebrating 4 years of broadcasting. 22nd of February 2020, when a bunch of us decided that it was about time that Live for Speed deserved a full-time broadcast crew, presenting as many races as we can do with the people we have available. And yeah, over the years we've built quite a big team, Michael, and you recently joined us as commentator for this.
Yeah, and I'm honored to be part of this big project, and I'm sure we can deliver some great broadcasts in the future and outgrow what we currently are.
Well, the plan is always to try and expand, but let's deal with what we've got here at the moment. Yeah, it should be a good one. The 5.8 kilometer, 3.6 mile circuit. The second time we're broadcasting this week. We had it on RTFR XL earlier in the week with the ProTech 92 GT3, which was a fantastic race full of strategy. We won't have too many strategy options in our sprint races because, of course, they are sprint races, not really expecting cars to be in the pit lane at all. But you know, the drivers may elect for different strategy options. So we'll have to see what goes on. So yeah, we'll see what strategy options the drivers choose for these races. But anyway, let's look at the championship standings before we get going for the start of race 1, which is coming up in a few seconds' time. Yeah, let's see what the state of play is with the championship. So in the Drivers' Championship, leading the way, it's Fragmaster's Rex now, not Good Drivers Rex, with 246 points ahead of TJ, Roger Chen, Onifus, Doctor, Zesty, Fatal, Happy D, Koivunen, and Dark. So a number of these drivers, in fact, pretty much all these drivers except, I think, Fatal, have turned up today, Michael. So yeah, plenty of changing and chopping happening in the top 10.
Yeah, it's a very strong grid for tonight's race, and I'm really excited to witness its greatness in about 85 seconds from now. Looks like we will have to update the table a little bit because Zesty is still part of the MRC there in 6th place, so that will definitely change after tonight's race.
Yeah, he was registered under the MRC name. That's the last time you're going to see him registered under that name here. So yeah, we will see if he can change. Well, we will get that updated, of course, when the new standings are released at the end of this round. But yeah, we have a bunch of drivers to go through. We have 3 pages of results in the championship standings currently. Mantas there in P21. He'll be hoping to improve on his result. He qualified P31 for this race. So absolutely has a lot of work on his hands if he wants to kind of carry on the performance that we've seen in some other series recently. Plenty of work to do for him, though. Then we've got Rags, Adal, Rocket, Boy, Pantheo, LG Mies, who isn't here tonight, Mandula, Hosep, and JSK. These guys are here. But yeah, absolutely stacked Drivers' Championship standings. And if you want to join the Fragmasters Fox Friday series, you can. It runs every single Friday. We are broadcasting 12 rounds of the 2024 season, one every month until the end of the year, up to the final round, round 51 on December 20th. 1 minute to go before the start of the race. So just about time to go through the Teams Championship standings. In fact, I think we're on the grid for the start of the race a little bit early. So yeah, let's head to the track, Michael.
Right, the cars.
Go for it.
The cars are aligned on the grid with Zesty on pole position. His new teammate Gabor in the front row with him, and Rex and Represa Dark in the second row. Lights are red, and we are going green at Westhill International Reversed. And it looks like a good start for both Sidus drivers. Let's see who emerges on top as they are currently side by side. Gabor on the inside, Zesty on the outside. Looks like Gabor might have the upper hand through the first sequence of turns, and he takes the provisional lead, as everyone else in the midfield looks to be going through the first turns safely.
Well, we've got a bit of an accident at the back, but a few drivers there trying to sort themselves out as Gabor takes the lead. And we've got side by side between Rex and Dark in the background as well. And it's Roger Chen who takes full advantage of the start and gets up to P5 ahead of Ricardo. We've got TJ trying to make up places as well. So it's all going off in the middle of the top 10. But the 2 Sidus drivers at the front are pulling away as we see Dark dropping a wheel on the grass there. And that's allowed Rex to pull straight back ahead as they make their way down to the first chicane, the back chicane. There they go. So Rex leads into that chicane there. As we've got Adal beached already, and he's already removed himself from the race, Michael. So a retirement already.
It's a very eventful race, but at the front it's still a strong race for Sidus, and as Finn UK is beached but is capable of getting onto the track. However, is currently at the very, very last place. But looks like he will be able to rejoin the race, as Gabor is slowly creating a lead over his new teammate Zesty. It's good drivers, Fragmaster Rex in P3, Represa Dark in P4, and so far no team affiliation for Roger Chen in P5. So that's the end of first lap out of 22, apparently, of the first of the 2 races we have tonight. And we are watching battle for P15 between Twin Cam and All Poison, with Twin Cam on the inside. Let's see if he's capable to... No, he's not. He's slotting behind the Fragmaster driver, but he's able to, rejoin the side-by-side battle, but decides to back off as the next turn is tight chicane. Let's see what he's able to do on the back straight, where the next opportunity arises. and there's a little mistake. He might be under pressure from the car behind, which should be Master Race Car Stolhamberg, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is, and they are going side by side with Stolhamberg around the outside. And it looks like he's lots ahead, so that's another place down for Alpayson. It's dropped to P17 currently. Stolhamberg is in P16 and P15 belongs to Twin Cam. We are still observing Alpayson now being under pressure from another car behind. Orthopresa Lucas is right behind him, and let's see if he's capable of getting past, as he's already nearly alongside.
Oh,
and
Al goes into the pits.
It's a strategic move for Alpayson, pitting early and getting out of the way, which might be faster for him in the long run. Let's see.
Yeah, mandatory pit stop for... as Twin Cam and Yari are close together through turn 1. They were side by side for most of the home straight, and now it looks like Yari loses another place to Tallenberg. Behind those two, we've got Badaruk and Perry D01 side by side, running down into the first chicane. Perry D there on the outside and gets round, and immediately followed by Johnny SVK, who slots the car ahead as well. And that is Mantas, who's trying to claw his way back up the field as well. Qualified P31 and is now all the way up to P19 with that pass. So Mantas on a move. Pekka Koivunen also trying to get past in the background as well on Badaruk. And is through before the chicane. And now it's Iron Donny, who is out of position and is battling currently with Al Payson, who has lost a lot of places as well. Donny's got a lot of damage on the right-hand side of that car, Michael.
Yeah, he must have been into the wall, but so far it looks like his car... I wanted to say his car looks controllable, but we are seeing him sliding around a lot, so maybe he wants to visit the pit lane soon to take care of those damages. Let's see. His car doesn't seem to be damaged on the mechanical perspective, and the tires seems to be doing alright in terms of temperatures, but he's definitely struggling with the concurrent driving, as we are watching Orthopresa Lucas getting into the pit lane, and looks like he's inherited a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, too eager to get into the pit lane for his mandatory stop, and that earns him a drive-through penalty, as we've got Tallenberg and Twin Cam are going to be in a slipstream battle here, Michael.
Yeah, Tallenberg gets alongside Twin Cam, and let's see if he's able to reclaim the P14 as he's on the inside for the chicane. He decides to back off, and both of them survive. But he should be close enough to attempt something with the slipstream on this very back straight. Let's see. He seems to be a little bit too far for that. Yeah, he's definitely a bit too far, so there's no opportunity for him here. But if he's capable of keeping close enough in the second half of this lap, he should be able to at least try the overtake towards the start of lap 5. As he already has the opportunity here, as his fellow competitor made a mistake and now has to go defensive to this quick left-hander. I must say that Stolhamberg might be struggling with the dirty air of the car ahead. But so far he's doing pretty well. As P14's Twin Cam seems to be struggling on the pace and goes defensive very often. I'm sure there's some issue for him, and we might see some car offline. Yeah, I'm not sure who that was. And there was another car offline, so that might be...
Yeah, Thamuli was off the track there, unfortunately.
Yeah, possible contact with two.
We've got Dark, who's getting up close to Roger Chen at the moment, and we'll see what's the story there. And trying to force the move around the outside, risky one. And yeah, Dark trying his luck there to try and get round on Roger Chen. Roger Chen says no thanks. And these drivers are all pretty close together, but there's a huge gap ahead. We've got TJ in the mix as well. And Thamuli is trying to get a move on Mantas, but we're going to stick with this fight at the front with TJ, who is being followed closely by his teammate Doctor.
Yeah, Doctor is really hungry for positions tonight, and he's right on the tail of his fellow teammate TJ. Let's see if he's able to reclaim some position. He's currently in the twisty section of the track, so he's more struggling with the dirty air than gaining anything from that as we switch to my teammate JSK. Battling with... that was somebody upside down, and looks like he's left the race already.
Yeah, Johnny SVK just had a crash as well. Beraher was upside down just before the bridge, but Johnny SVK has an accident at the chicane. I'm not sure if he was pushed. Oh, and Rocket now tries to go around him and spins off into the gravel trap. He's going to have to be careful not to get it stuck. That could be difficult to get out of there. That is a sticky gravel trap, and I think Rocket is going to spend a long time trying to reverse out of there. So, yeah, problematic for Rocket there. Just chose the wrong side of Johnny SVK to try and get around him. And that's going to cost him a whole heap of time, as we've got Iron Donny going around the outside of Badaruk out of the penultimate corner into the final corner now, and Badaruk's going to find himself trying to defend probably from Johnny SVK if he's not careful. No, Johnny goes into the pit lane. Rocket's almost made it out of the gravel trap, Michael, but he's going to be in penultimate place, 30th.
Yeah, this race is effectively over for him. And since we are reversing to 15 for the second race, I don't think he can take any advantage of that. So this will be a painful evening for him, I'm afraid. As we are switching to TJ, still in P6, trying to stay ahead of Roger Preza Doctor in P7. And with another teammate, Dark, they are chasing Roger Chen in P4. It's a really good exit for TJ. I can see much from this camera view, and he overtakes the red-skinned car of Dark. Yeah, it was Dark, and is promoted to P5.
Doctor manages to get past Dark as well there, so Dark absolutely going backwards the second the cameras pointed at him, and around the penultimate corner. Let's see if he can try and get it back around the outside. Surely not. No, Doctor will hold on to that one. Impossible nearly to go around the outside of somebody into there. Doesn't really matter how much slipstream you've got. It's so difficult to do. But Dark does manage to stay directly in the wheel tracks of Doctor there. Really impressive. Would have taken quite a lot of energy, or quite a lot of put a lot of heat into those tyres. But down to turn one, Dark's going to have the advantage. And Mantas, from all the way from the back, may have a slipstream then on Yari. A little bit too far. Here is our race leader, Gabor. We've not really seen him since the beginning. He is live on Twitch. You can go and check out his feed at twitch.tv/CydusGabor. So if you want to pull that up on a second monitor or a second screen or your phone, whatever you've got available, you can watch Gabor drive in this race. He's recently started streaming more, and yeah, it's good to see the onboard perspective as he's doing his laps here, and he's pulled out an enormous lead over Zesty now, 3.4 seconds, Michael.
He's really showing him who's here at home, but Zesty is also giving some good performance tonight. As we are switching to Mantas in P60 now, going side by side with Yari Katela. Yeah, my apologies. Yeah. And he seems to be safely ahead as we are entering the quick chicane. Yeah, he's definitely ahead. And we're now watching the driver's Hossap being under pressure from Perry D1. Actually he got ahead. So that's one position for him. And he's now P19. Way to go.
Yeah, good move on the back straight. We'll switch to Thamuli, who's also catching up to Jari Katila then.
So far he's not close enough to take advantage of the slipstream, but looks like he is definitely having a stronger pace at this point and should be able to try something on the main straight. Let's see how the final turn goes for them. And he's still a bit too far, so no taking opportunity for him, at least for now. As we are already in lap 8 out of 22 of the first race tonight. Let's not forget that there are mandatory pit stops, and very few drivers so far have done theirs, so there's still plenty to play for. As there's car, who, I don't know what it was, but it's an impressive crash.
Yeah, he's had an issue. Unusual. That's a really weird place to go off. He's just run wide and has managed to spin the car out onto the back straight. You don't see that very often. That's a very weird place to have an accident.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think he was even in a battle with someone. Maybe just putting wheel on the grass, and there he went. As we are now switching to Timley, taking advantage over Jari Katila and making some gap so the slipstream can be used against him. So he's currently in P15, and if race would end like that, it would be a pole position for him in the race too.
Yeah, we're coming up to halfway, and the drivers will be starting to think about, okay, when are they going to make their pit stop to get that out of the way? Most of the drivers at the front will probably go until the final lap, you'd expect. But some of the drivers have already made their mandatory stop. We can see the list there of the drivers. Donny has been in the pit lane, so too have Payson, Master, Gui, Lucas Hermani, and JSK as well. So lots of drivers already making their stops, but they tend to be at the back of the grid at this point. And our leaders will not necessarily pit until the end. We've got Lucas fairly close to Guy. We've got Twincam going for a move here on Tallenberg. Bright green wheels on Twincam's car. Seems to be somewhat of a theme, and he has the lead into turn number 1.
Yeah, and he makes the move stick. And speaking of possible strategies, absolutely everyone apart from the Badaruk in 27 is running R2 tire strategy, so there's not much variety in that.
Yeah, and as the drivers come up to the bridge, then we've got a bit of a train forming, because it's Roger Chen who's leading all of these cars around. We've got Roger Chen followed by TJ and Dark very, very closely. It's all the Road Appraiser drivers sticking pretty close together in this one. And still Tallenberg and Twincam switching positions. Tallenberg managing to get back past the Master Race Car driver. Sorry, he's ahead of Twincam. Twincam trying to get back on the back straight, but not quite enough room to get it done. Master then in the background also catching up to Al Payson as they hit the back straight, but not quite close enough for a slipstream. But I think Roger Chen's days might be numbered. TJ is getting ever so slightly closer into the slipstream, Michael, and it could be a close one this time.
Yes, let's see how it goes for him. I'm not convinced he's close enough, at least not within the end of this particular straight. But I think he's definitely onto something, so I'm giving a lap or two until there's a switch in positions. But as we can see, TJ didn't gain anything from the slipstream, so he wasn't close enough. But he's getting ever so slightly closer, and now goes onto the grass and loses everything. And now he's under pressure from Dark, who will effectively pass him before the chicane, I believe. Yeah, he has to lift off and give the way. So instead of gaining position, he now loses position, and he's in P6 and has to reshape himself to start fighting back.
Yeah, an unusual error that from TJ, but he's gone off and gives up the place to his teammate. We've got Gui off and joins the spectators. He's out of the race. Had an issue. Very D in the pit lane and emerging now. served his mandatory pit stop and rejoins the race in P23. So Roger Chen dodged a bullet there. He's now got Dark to worry about at the back. And we've got Pekka Koivunen chasing down Jari Kittilä here, Michael, onto the back straight.
Yeah, this is a battle between Podcast Lions drivers, and let's see how it goes for them, as Jari Kittilä is under pressure, and Lazisti might bite. So that's P16 for Pekka Koivunen at this point. I believe neither of them has done the mandatory pit stop yet, so they are on the similar strategy, and yeah, Pekka is simply ahead at this point.
Yeah, two drivers who are still going at it, swapping positions every race, treating this like an oval. It's Twincam and Tallenberger yet again. Twincam being a bit impatient through up to the penultimate corner, and has lost a lot of time on Tallenberg. He was close enough to just stay in the slipstream and get him on the home straight, which is kind of the ideal place to overtake somebody around here. But he's been a bit eager and now loses a whole bunch of time and needs to try and get closer yet again. We're down to 30 cars. We are approaching the halfway stage at the end of this lap, and it's Gabor who currently leads. If you're not already checking out his point of view, then please do so on Twitch. Pull that up on a separate screen. You can see actually there he's changing pit options there. That's a good insight, isn't it? So tweaking his strategy even as he's on the back straight going around. So maybe, I wonder if he's planning a pit stop, Michael, because why would he be changing his settings there? That's interesting. That wasn't the live settings tab, that was the pit strategies tab.
Yeah, well, I would expect him to pit at the very last opportunity, so unless he's running low on fuel or something, he should stay at the front for as long as he can.
Yeah, he might be adjusting fuel based on current usage. He might be using slightly less fuel than maybe he expected, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on him because we've got Happy D going wide, and Onifus is really, really close behind. So Onifus fancying a move, and this will be for P8 in the race as they make their run up to the final corner. But Onifus has to be careful. He's in his rear view mirrors. He's got Gabor goes in the pit lane, Michael, so he was going in. That's an unusual time.
Yeah,
he's
trying to outsmart us, I guess. So that's Onifus. He's also in the pit lane.
Yeah, Onifus comes into the pits. Gabor now leaving the pits, and is he going to be in traffic? Let's see what happens here. No, he's in clean air, so an unusual strategy, unless whoever that is, the race green driver, that's Mandula, just behind, unless Mandula decides to annoy him and get in his slipstream. It's very, very close, but I think Gabor should have the pace in the middle part of this lap to open that up. Onifus actually gets overtaken by Tallenberg, or does he? It's going to be really, really close out of the first corner, but no, Onifus does just about manage to get ahead of the Tallenberg Twincam battle, or does he? This is so close. Onifus can't afford to get involved in this scrap because he's going to lose a whole bunch of time. Tallenberg would love to get ahead because that's going to really help him against Twincam, and he's pushed him wide. Onifus off the track into the wall, and Twincam has managed to get past both of them. Well, that's a very unusual thing to see. But yeah, Onifus, Twincam and Tallenberg were perfectly entitled to have the fight. But Onifus has lost out massively from that. Tallenberg apologising in the chat. Wasn't really sure from my perspective whether that was a necessarily unfair manoeuvre, but clearly Tallenberg feels as though he did something wrong. Michael, what do you make of that? That was unusual.
Definitely unusual. I didn't see anything malicious from Tallenberg, so I think it was a clear racing incident. But it was very interesting to see, and it goes south for Onifus at this point. However, he's still in P14, which would be a strong starting position for race 2 if he manages to keep that.
Yeah, Ian Donny moves up past Jari Kittilä in that bent Fox. He's got a very, very wonky rear wing, as Hosset also trying to get past Jari Kittilä into the final sector, not quite managing it at the moment as TJ goes into the pit lane for his mandatory stop. So interestingly, drivers electing to go into the pit lane halfway through the race. What's the strategy benefit there, I wonder? It seems a bit of a gamble to me. Onifus hasn't worked out for Onifus at all. He came out in traffic and it cost him very dearly. As we see, who's that going through? That was... Who was that getting through? That was Mantas trying to recover. So Mantas has been up and down the grid so much that I wasn't even sure which Born to Race driver that was, but it is. It's Mantas who gains a position. But a scrappy race and a scrappy round really so far from Mantas. Currently watching Tannenberg, who's after that incident with Onifus is trying to get back up to the rear end of Twincam. That's Hermani, the back marker that they're catching up to. Not for position, that one. Hermani gets out of the way. And meanwhile, Mantas is really wobbling around here, Michael. He's not comfortable at all in this Fox today.
Yeah, definitely not his day tonight. As we are watching Jari Katila going side by side with good driver Hosep, and it looks like Hosep has it covered.
Yeah, again, this battle's been going on for a lap nearly, but Hosep is back through. And can he open up the gap this time and actually keep the lead? Talking of the lead, it's Zesty who's in the hot seat at the moment. He has the track position, but does he have the pace to catch up to Gabor? Gabor still has the fastest lap. He has clean air, but how quickly, Michael, is he going to catch up to the back of the likes of Ricardo, Happy D, Doctor, who are for the whole race have been pretty close to one another? This could slow him down. Zesty may be running an interesting strategy here and could pull this off, as Hosep and Jari are still fighting side by side, or they were. It's kind of sorted itself out again.
Yeah, it looks like Zesty is playing the long game, and he will be the one who pitting lately, as Berater is in the wall, and he's trying to safely rejoin the track. Well, it doesn't seem so anymore. I wonder where he's going, as Fenuke has spun as well. And he's back onto the track in P26, and yeah, that's his race over essentially as well. As we are now switching to Road to Praise the Dark, going side by side, not anymore.
He was getting past Finuk there. That was Finuk just recovering from the incident. Pallenberg's looped it as well. Everybody's falling off the road. That was yeah. So Onifus gets the place back, or does he? Yes, he does. Onifus gets the place back. But Tallenberg with an unforced error there, going around.
Yeah, we see a lot of unusual mistakes tonight. I don't know why. I wonder.
Al Payson also with the wobble. Master is now going to try and get past him. These two have been close for a while. It's possible there was contact actually, because these two have been pretty close. Let's see if Master will take the position. Does so. Will it be on the inside? Yeah, easily through. And well, Al will not be happy with that, but we'll surely try and get him back at some point on the lap. Maybe immediately. Yep, goes to the inside. The last corner coming up. And that's a place you do not want to be side by side. And Al does get the place back, so a good move back. Yeah, really important around here.
Beautiful revenge.
Exactly, it has to be quick revenge here, because you don't want to be waiting. You don't want to let the driver ahead of you get away. Oh, and they make contact. Master into the back of Al. Al defended to the right hand side. Master moved over as well, and that's how the contact happened. And Al has broken a little bit of a gap to the SRP driver as Mantas goes into the pit lane and goes past the driver with the Ferrari livery there. That was Beraher. Someone else also leaving the pits ahead. Couldn't quite make out who that was, but Mantas through. And Tannenberg's just been through the pit lane. That was the other car we saw in there. And one of the drivers who's kind of dropped back a little bit in this race is TJ. He's catching up to Connix now, but yeah, he's dropped back because he's made a pit stop. He's not the top guy on the track who has made a pit stop. That's Gabor. So yeah, TJ in traffic now, trying to get past Connix, who is yet to stop, according to our timing tower. So the drivers all out of position with one another here. So kind of difficult to see how this is all going to shake out. The car on the hot seat at the moment is Pekka Koivunen, but expect that to change. Should be plenty more movers and shakers before we are done with the next 6 or 7 laps. As up to start finish then comes TJ in the slipstream of Conix. Is he close enough to get through? I don't think Conix is going to make this particularly difficult for him, Michael. They are on different strategies, but he still has to effect a pass.
You can still,
and it's gone wrong.
Be the very white car to defend, and TJ just gets unlucky and goes wide in the air. And looking at the timing tower, it looks like Gabor has gained over 2 seconds to Zesty after the pit stop. So it's very likely that Zesty will emerge in P2 after the mandatory pit stop. Speaking of pit stops, Jari Katila has done his one and drops down to P21 provisionally. Might lose a few more places before he fully rejoins the track. He's P23 at this point. And that should be his final position as he rejoins the racing line with 7 laps to go for everyone, I believe. And most of the drivers at this point have done their pit stops, as Onifus is now right on the tail of Twincam, entering the quick chicane. He's taking a very tight line and is now in the slipstream. But I don't think he's close enough to get alongside before the next turn, so it's sensible to stay a little bit back. As he does so, he's currently at P13, so he would be in a preferable starting position in the second race. But of course, he wants to finish as good as possible, as we are watching that the car ahead is going defensive, so it's definitely putting some pressure. But looks like Onifus is now a little bit too far, as in the pit lane is Rotopresa Ricardo, who's currently P9 and looks like he will stick to that position for now.
Yeah, but his teammates coming up pretty quickly as well. Will he be able to get through? No, doesn't look like it. Ricardo keeps the place, as we've got Donny fighting with Pekka Koivunen side by side. Conix with a drive-through in the pit lane as well, so lots of drivers are falling foul of this pit lane today, and Pekka Koivunen there with Donny through turn 1. Mantas again is spun at the second to last corner. He's been round again, Michael. It's not going well for him this afternoon.
Yeah, everyone is doing weird mistakes tonight, and I'm struggling to figure out why.
It's been a long week, clearly. Yeah, I mean, Mantas has had a long week. He's been doing a lot of racing. As we've got TJ in the slipstream of Ricardo. Ricardo goes defensive, but it's going to be futile, surely. These two, TJ had a massive slipstream, and he's going to be well ahead by the time they get to the braking zone. Ricardo pulls back into in behind, but TJ is through and up to P9 after his pit stop. And both of those drivers have done so. As Master and Al Payson still side by side. These two have been absolutely glued together, and Al Payson is going to come straight back. So they're very, very evenly matched, these pair. I'm sure there'll be some stories to tell after this race for sure.
Yeah, everyone seems to be trying to do the fair play, and we are not seeing any stupid incidents. As we are now watching Gabor in P7 after his pit stop. You can also watch him over his left Twitch. He's chasing and trying to catch, I think it's Happy D ahead of him. So you can follow him alongside from his point of view. As into the pit lane, it's Rotopresa Doctor, dropping some places as we speak. And yeah, he's dropped to P8 and should be... No, it's not P9.
No, that was a back marker. That was that was Finn UK getting back through, and actually he's going to let him immediately back through because the blue flags are on the screen. But yeah, Gabor is now chasing down Happy D. Is he close enough on the back straight to get through? I don't think so, actually. Happy D had a really good exit, so he will be safe from any sort of attack from Gabor as they run down to the back chicane.
Yeah. Happy D surely isn't happy about the situation, and it's a matter of time before he loses place to Gabor. but and anytime he's able to take away from Gabor, it's helping his former teammate Zesty, who's yet to pit. It's a weird situation to be in, but yeah, why not to do some favor to Zesty as we are switching to Teomule, going side by side with Done. And let's see who lives first. And yeah, Teomule backs off and stays in P13. Looks like he's close enough to try to do the revenge move, but his speed is not so good at this point, and he has to wait for another opportunity later.
Thanks for tuning in to round 8 of the 2024 season of Fragmaster's Fox Friday. This week is our the 4th anniversary of Sim broadcasts, so it's been a wild ride, but here we are. We are in our 5th year now, I guess. And if you fancy supporting us a little bit, then you can do that by following us on Twitch or dropping us a subscription on either YouTube or this channel here. We'd really appreciate all of the good stuff, so please feel free to do that. It really does help us out. And we appreciate you all watching as Gabor is still fighting with Happy D up ahead. Here they go. And he's through finally. Well, it took him long enough to do that. So this is where Zesty would have gained an advantage, Michael, for sure. Undoubtedly.
Yeah, he has lost about a second to Zesty, which I'm afraid is not enough at this point, but it's definitely some advantage to Zesty in first place. But we are on about 3 laps to go, so there's not much time for Zesty to gain, as he still has to do his mandatory pit stop. Let's see how it goes for him, as we are now observing Gabor trying to break away from MRC Happy D, and you can watch also his on board his live Twitch.
Yeah, it's a fascinating perspective. Obviously, he's lapping pretty much faster than anybody except Rex, who takes the fastest lap of the race. Let's see if Gabor can get it back on this lap. Tyres in a pretty good state, but no, Rex has the pace, and he's only a second behind Zesty at the moment. So actually, the lead battle is going to come alive as well at the end of this one. Rex is on pace. So we need to keep an eye on it. We need to see what happens at the front. We're on 3 laps to go, including this one. Both of these drivers have to go down the pit lane. We've got Gabor to watch out for in the background as well. He's 14 seconds back from these guys. So it's going to be close for the lead here. And if Rex can keep turning the screws, then that's only going to play into Gabor's hands, as these two would eventually slow each other down, almost certainly. So yeah, a fascinating finish to race 1, which we don't normally get to say. It's normally race 2 that yields the drama. A little bit of a plug there for the action that's going to be coming up shortly. We've got Yari and Mantas battling. Mantas has had a lot of airtime considering he's all the way down in P22. Very much out of position, but still very entertaining to watch. As Hosep has spun and has spectated after all those battles that we saw. Exit at the first corner, he's looped it. And actually, Rex is not gaining on Zesty. The gap is just holding still. So, an interesting one there. As Gabor, we wait to see where he's going to end up. We just don't know. The gap's still 14.2 seconds. And it just depends if Zesty and Rex can get down the pit lane and out again in time.
Yeah, and as we are in lap 21 out of 22, they have only single opportunity. So yeah, as you say, they must pit. We are currently leading pair of drivers who did some, I would say, unexpected team swaps recently. Zesty to Sidus, Rex to Fragmaster.
I think it's brilliant. We haven't seen the driver market as alive as it's been in quite a lot of time. There's some teams out there that are really trying to make sure that they've got the best drivers, and this is good. This is healthy. It's good to move between teams. Anybody that's been around in Live for Speed for a while will definitely say that in the racing world, it's definitely encourageable find yourself a team that you're comfortable with, and try a few out before you settle down, as they say. And after so many years, it's interesting to see that Zesty has switched to Sidus, but it's a good signing by Sidus. Clearly, in the single seaters, Zesty has the pace, as we've got Connix with a spin, letting a lot of cars get through, and we've got one of the someone driving in a stake livery there, going for an overtake. That is Lucas on Al Payson. But into the pit lane are going to be coming Rex and Zesty incredibly soon. They only have a couple of corners left to go, Michael. This is going to be fascinating. Has Gabor done enough to get the lead after this?
I believe he does, but another question is whether some of them or both of them... Oh, there's somebody spinning. Who that was, I'm not sure.
Right ahead of Zesty. It was Perry D, 0-1, who spun in front of them. They both had to avoid. That was in the middle of the road. That's going to have caused them a bit of a panic as they come into the pit lane. Get the car slowed down. Zesty and Zesty and Rex happily into the pit lane. And here comes Gabor out of the final corner. He's going to absolutely monster past these two. Rex has got going. Zesty's got going. Gabor across start finish. But here they are. There's the pass for the lead. Gabor's done enough, even in the traffic, to get through with a massive lead over everybody else. So onto the final lap comes Gabor at the end here of race 1 with an absolutely monstrous lead over Zesty. That's impressive. He had traffic, but he managed to keep the pace up. Rex will settle for P3. Doctor gets past Happy D as Happy D leaves it quite late to go into the pit lane as well. So too does TJ. So the 3 Road Appraiser cars there together again, Michael.
Yeah, Gaboros retakes the lead in the final lap, and I think he definitely deserves to win this race, and that means that he will have to start from the very midfield. That's yellow flag ahead of TJ. Let's see what
who's that? That's Doctor and somebody else. That's Dark.
Yeah.
So both Road Appraiser drivers coming together. Dark goes out of the track, spectates, absolute retirement. Doctor's upside down, so drama on the final lap here between the Road Appraiser drivers, who were very comfortably inside the top 10, taking each other out on the final lap. Absolutely unbelievable stuff between teammates. Rule number 1 of racing, you do not hit your teammate, and they've taken each other out of this one. But let's switch our focus to Gabor. He's going to bring his car round to win. This does, however, cement him in P15 for the start of race 2. It's currently Master for Sim Racing Polska who occupies the P15 spot. I don't think anybody else is going to challenge him for that. So barring errors on this final lap, it's going to be Master for SRP that starts in pole position for race 2, coming up just a moment's time. But all the focus now on Gabor out of the final corner. He's not put a foot wrong in this race, really, and will finish 4 seconds ahead of his closest competitor. The new signing for Sidus will have to settle for P2 on his debut in Fox Friday, and Gabor wins this first race. Zesty P2 and Rex, 2 drivers new to their teams, getting a podium in Fox Friday. Great to see. And it's going to be Roger Chen, the independent driver, who comes across the line in P4. I wonder why a team has not snapped this guy up. There must be a story. But what a great race that was, Michael.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race with a lot of unforced errors and interesting crashes, I would say. And I'm really looking forward to another race we will have in a few minutes, with Gabor and Zesty having to start from P15 and 14 respectively. So that will be definitely interesting to watch them battle through the traffic.
Yeah, the only drivers who are sort of close together at the end of this race are Johnny SVK and Yari Katila. Actually, Johnny's managed to catch up to Yari quite a lot there. So Johnny might be able to get a last lap overtake here to the line, which will promote him to P18. He's getting closer, definitely. He's reading him in. He goes to the inside. Yari's going to have to be hung out to dry on the outside. Can he hold it? I very much doubt it. No, Johnny SVK makes him a place on the final lap. Got to be careful to defend it. Needs to immediately cut the car over to the left-hand side. He does a bit late, so this is going to be close to the line. Yari has a bit of a slipstream. It's going to be side by side. Who's going to take the win? It is just Johnny SVK by only 1/100th of a second at the line. So battles up and down the field, Michael, right until the death. But brilliant stuff there from all of the drivers there. Mantas is still not finished. He's off on the grass out of the final corner. An absolutely shocking day for Mantas. So unbelievable stuff from him. Here he comes. That's Hermani coming across the line. Sorry, and Mantas will finish in P22. Absolutely crazy stuff. And I believe that is everybody. That's everyone that's registered a time.
Yeah, that was a fantastic finish, and we have 25 finishes out of, I believe it was 32 starters, so pretty decent ratio of finishers. Let's check the results of this race.
Yeah, Sidus Gabor wins in 40 minutes and 59 seconds ahead of new signing for Sidus Zesty. So Gabor gets his honour back. Zesty had the pole position in qualifying, and Gabor said, yeah, mate, you can out-qualify me all you want, but I'm going to win in the race. So Gabor still remains top dog there in that team for now. But yeah, Zesty isn't going to need too much more encouragement to try and beat Gabor, I don't think. The rivalry, the inter-team rivalry there is going to go on and on and on, I think. Rex finishes in P3, well ahead of any other Fragmaster driver today, so great showing from him. Then it's Roger Chen in P4, TJ, Happy D, Ricardo, Mandula, Onifus and Iron Donny at P10. With Tallenberg, Twin Cam, Thamuli, Koivunen, Master, Connix, Payson, Lucas, Johnny SVK and Yari Katila, the top 20. Over on the second screen, we're going to have a few drivers DNF'd, but of those who finished, Perry D01 with that incident at the penultimate corner that Rex and Zesty had to avoid very late on, puts him in P21. Mantas, not a great race, not really much to talk about there. 2 minutes off the lead, unbelievable. There in P22. Dark and Doctor DNFing after being solidly in the top 10. Not sure what happened, but we just saw the aftermath of it. Both of them barrel rolling down the first sector, and unfortunately DNFing and being registered 23rd and 24th. Fin UK, Badaruk and Hermani were the final finishers, and we have Hosep, Beraher and Rocket, who are unfortunately DNF from the first race. Gabor got the fastest lap, and in the background the drivers are going to be reversed. The top 15 will be reversed for the start of race number 2. Michael, we have got a lot of stuff to look forward to. Race 1 was insane, and race 2 is only going to get better.
Yeah, it was a dominating performance from Gabor, and Zesty had also a very strong finish after, it was one of the strangest moves after Hamilton moved to Ferrari, so yeah, I think he will go very strong with Sidus from now on, and he will be chased by the Rex, who also moved from good drivers to Fragmaster. So it will be a very strong trio of drivers starting in the middle of the field in the second race, which I believe will be 22 laps long again. And
yeah, exactly the same length of race for race 2.
And there will be, of course, one mandatory stop as well.
Indeed. So that throws even more confusion and intrigue into the event. We'll be back in just a moment's time for more coverage of tonight's Fox Friday action. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to round 8 at Westhill International Reversed for this Fox Friday the 23rd of February, and we are waiting anxiously for the start of race 2, I think is fair to say, because we definitely have mixed feelings about the grid for race 2, because everybody from the top 15 has been reversed. So the order that you see here, Everyone from P15 downwards is going to get reversed. Not that one, sorry. This one, the results of our race. Gabor is going to be in P15. Then it's going to be Rex ahead of him with Roger Chen. And TJ will be lining up ahead of them as well. Masters on pole with Pekka Koivunen alongside him. Then it's Themuli and Twin Cam on row 2. Tallenberg and Donny row 3. Onifus and Happy D on row 4. So it's all going to be shaken up. I wonder, Michael, and confirm to me what you think about this. The reason that Gabor pitted midway through race 1 could be because he fancies doing the same again in race 2. And he may have just tried it out in race 1 to see if it would work. So I don't know. We'll see. But let's see how this goes. A couple of drivers yet to ready up before we go to the grid for race 2. So, Michael, I'll let you do the start this time.
Well, think of Gabor's strategy. I think if it works once, one way it wouldn't work twice. So I can expect Gabor to do the similar strategy here as well. The grid is apparently ready. We are waiting for the lights to go on. It's Master on the pole position after finishing 15 in the previous race. And the winner Gabor is in P15 as the lights are red. And we are going green again in this race number 2. And let's see how it goes. Master is having a good start so far, as Pekka Koivunen starting from P2 has to slot behind. There's a gaggle of cars happening behind them. So far, no big collision. Onifus is under pressure from Iron Donny, who's under pressure from DJ. They're going side by side into the chicane. And on the outside, everyone still survives. There's one car going onto the grass. It was Happy D, as I hear. But yeah, Happy D is losing everything in this first lap. And he's down to P25, which is not a very pleasing way to start the race. Twin Cam in P4 is now in battle with Teomuli, yeah, and advances, but goes very wide, goes onto the grass. Can he stop the car? Yes, he can, but it's not very conventional. As well, it was Master catching the grass and goes wide, as we are now switching to Teomuli, going side by side with Twin Cam, who is in P4 and now is under pressure from Onifus. There's another car, I think it's Tallenberg.
It's Connex off on the grass there.
Connex on the grass, yeah. A lot of action and forced errors here. So this promotes Pekka Koivunen into the provisional pole position. As Gabor is already in P10, closely by Zesty, and Rex is in P8, so they are having a pretty good start. Let's see if any of them pits in this first occasion.
Yeah, an absolutely amazing start from those guys. We've got 3 wide coming across start finish. Twin Cam is involved, and these guys need to be so careful not to come tangling with each other. It's going to be a long race, but they managed to sort themselves out through turn 1, do they? Twin Cam, the unlucky one there, but they're going to go 3 wide again on the exit, Michael. And this is going to get pretty uncomfortable very quickly as we have the run down to the chicane. There's 2 other cars potentially going to get involved here as well. And, well, they find some semblance of an order. And there's Gabor in the background who'll be watching this thinking, oh my goodness, boys, be careful.
Yeah, there's absolutely no sense trying to get into this fight of 4 or 5 cars. You just better to wait a few seconds and then take them one by one, as we are watching Gabor going alongside Iron Donny.
Yeah, Donny in a fight then with Donny. We've got Onifus and Twin Cam in a fight up ahead as well. There goes Gabor through shot, and Twin Cam has a fight with Onifus as well. And it's Zesty then, who is also trying to get past Donny. Already finds himself on the inside. Zesty knows where to put the car, that's for sure. And that's going to be an easy overtake into fourth from last.
Yes, so far he's able to keep up with Gabor, which is very vital to his race. Side by side going Mantas and Alpayson with Mantas on the inside, but Alpayson seems to be having the upper hand and getting a little bit of lead over Mantas, so he should be safe for now. As Gabor is already in P7, followed by Zesty in P8, we see a battle between Málek and is it TJ?
Yeah, and Gabor is already up to P5 now in that fight with Twin Cam. Absolutely unbelievable progress through the grid. And it looks like we have Rex in the pit lane, so one of the earliest pitters in this one, electing to get his pit stop done early, which is an interesting strategy. Gabor is going to be held up and caught up in battles, so this could pay out for him. Gabor is now all the way up behind Thamuli and Onifus. There is a big battle going on up front. Thamuli was... he's going to have to defend here quite hard, but Gabor is going to get past him surely. Onifus has nothing to do really, because he's just hung out there on the outside. Gabor with the slipstream, Twin Cam with the slipstream on Gabor as well. They go 3 wide nearly. It could be, well, there's not enough straight, but it could be 4 wide. It looks about 5 wide from that camera view, but Gabor on the inside then of Thamuli, and it's Onifus currently in P3 as they all fall into single file eventually. My goodness, that was quite a spectacle. As now Thamuli tries to go back at Gabor. Go on, why not? Have a go.
Yeah, but he decides to back off, and he might be under pressure from Zesty, who goes however defensive from Mantas. So yeah, it's a lot of interconnected battles. And Málek is now attacking Gabor, going around the outside, which is not the preferred side into this right-hander. But sometimes you can make it stick around the outside, not this time. And yeah, Twin Cam is over the grass and might lose a position up to, but he's pretty safe. As now Zesty is right behind Málek, who's about to go side by side with Gabor, who enters the pit lane. Yeah, slows down safely. Short pit stop. Also in the pit lane, it's Twin Cam.
Yeah, Gabor pitted early.
Yeah.
Decided that he didn't want to get involved in this fight with Zesty and Thamuli. Thamuli was trying to harass him, and Zesty could potentially have got a slipstream on both of them if that had carried on. But here we go, Zesty to the outside, to the inside for the next corner on Thamuli, and he is through. So now we just have to wait and see where Gabor comes out in relation to everybody else. Rex is 2 cars ahead of him, so Gabor's got a lot of work to do to get up to Rex. But Dark, Thamuli and Konix now in a 3-way fight onto the back straight. Thamuli all over the action here as we watch Konix and Dark try to find some sort of order. We've got Adal spinning in P11, and he's in a wall. He's not going to be able to get out of there. That's the reason why the reverse direction is not used too much, because there's holes you have to cover up, and Adal has got himself stuck in one of the little marshal's points. Gabor battling with Master, almost contact, and seems to be through no issue, as Twin Cam and Alpayson are now in a fight together. And Rex has Rex had an error? We need to check the replay. Rex has had an error. Rex is all the way down now in P20. What on earth happened to Rex? Because he's lost a ton of places. So yeah, Rex all the way down in P20. Not sure what happened.
I have noticed that also a few Rocket has lost some places, so there might be some connection between them.
Maybe, unclear at this stage. We'll keep an eye out and see what's happened there, as we've got a fight on between the lead pair, and TJ takes the lead over Pekka Koivunen and registers the fastest lap as well, as we also have Guy going off the road rejoining. And Rex has clipped the back of Perry D at some point out on track, and that explains why he's tumbled down the order. He was 2 places ahead of Gabor and loses a ton of places, but in the back chicane he's come together with Perry D, and that's dropped him down the order. He just manages to get past Alpayson on screen there. Whoa, we knew that race 2 was going to be a lot of action, Michael, and we weren't wrong.
Yeah, definitely, and Gabor has just passed already, so it won't happen to him what happened to Rex. at least for now, as he's moved into P14 and should be somewhat safe for now.
Yeah, Mantas emerges from the pit lane and onto the track he goes after his stop, and it's still Connix and Thamuli who are battling at the front of the field. Doctor watches on as well, see what he can manage from this, and immediately goes on a move. Connix was compromised through the previous corner, and Doctor is going to try and capitalise around the outside. Great move on the Master Race Car driver there, and pushes Connix further back. So not great for Master Race Car, but let's switch to a driver that comes together. That's Jari Katila and Tallenberg coming together, and that forces Jari off into the wall. Not a place you want to go side by side. Sorry, it was Gabor as well involved. Gabor caught up and is now through. Lucky not to lose too much time, but it was Tallenberg that came together with Jari Katila there. And Roger Chen is also behind and will try to capitalise on this as well. Gabor goes defensive and brings a trail of cars with him, weaving all over the road, Michael. Good to see.
Yeah, this is a fantastic three-way battle. Roger Chen is now going side by side with Gabor. It's three wide with Gabor on the inside. Still on the inside. That's the preferable line.
A great defense, that.
Yeah, he seems to stick ahead, but he's already side by side with Roger Chen again. He should be ahead into the chicane. So that's I don't know, P11 for Gabor. They are switching the places so often. I'm losing tracks of who's at which place.
Yeah, now Gabor will now disappear, I think. But yeah, Roger Chen P12.
Yeah, and Roger Chen is under pressure from the car behind, which should be Tallenberg, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like, yeah, but he's not close enough to make the impression into the chicane. I had a look, and it looks like Jari Katila, after hitting the wall very hard, has a lot of damage on the left side of this car, but seems to be continuing without pit stops, so should be alright.
Thamuli goes wide and loses a ton of time, but currently P10, so ultimately a good result so far for him. We've got twin cam on Jari Katila coming up to the final sector, so there's going to be a move on here surely. Oh no, twin cam thinks about it but doesn't go for the move into the second to last. I think he's been stunned too many times at this race, at this corner. He's also been off as well at some point, because he's lost a little bit of time as well, so I think twin cam's lost a bit of time somewhere out on track as the Muli goes into the pit lane. Just up ahead, these guys are going to get past now. Muli dropping down the order, and twin cam and Jari Katila side by side onto lap 7. Twin cam trying to go around the outside. Nice work on the brakes.
Jari's car seems to be very compromised now after that wall hit, so yeah, he's losing a lot of time, and he should pit as soon as he can. As this promotes twin cam to P16, and I'm sure he will advance a few more places, as there's a battle ahead of him and also behind him, so let's see where the camera crew will stick our eyes to. Looks like Happy is having the battle with Al Payson in the background. They're going side by side, Happy around the outside, but Al Payson is braver on the brakes and keeps the position. And Happy has to regroup and has a better exit and is already past Al Payson. And right up to the tail of it should be a few rockets ahead of him.
At the front, we've got Onifus in the pit lane with Zesty and Pekka Koivunen now side by side. Pekka Koivunen lost a place to TJ a few laps ago, held on to lead the race for quite a while, but now Zesty gets back through and presses on. So just a matter of time before we learn kind of what the gap will be between Zesty and Gabor. But at the moment, it is 16 seconds. Onifus comes out behind Gabor, so that is an indication of what the lead battle is going to look like. Onifus comes out just ahead of Roger Chen, but Roger Chen might fancy a move. So again, Onifus finds himself immediately in a battle after pitting halfway through the race. This is the second time in tonight's action that this has happened, and luckily this time Onifus doesn't lose too much time. Still loses a bunch of time there, Michael. But Gabor now 16 seconds behind Zesty, which means they are 2 seconds closer than they were at the end of the last race. So now it's all a matter of time to see what happens with Zesty and the end of this race and his pit stop, as Twin Cam has an incident and retires from the race. Twin Cam was upside down underneath the chicane bridge, in the first sector, so not a good end to his evening.
Yeah, that's another car down, as we are now watching Roger Chen being closely followed by Onifus from the Fragmaster. So far the gap in between them is pretty stable, so I'm not anticipating any battle between these two.
Well, yeah, the fight that's getting fairly close is Themuli, Alpacin and Jari Katila. We're riding on board with Themuli. He's watching Alpacin try to line up Jari Katila. So let's see what's going to happen. This is going to get spicy onto the home straight. So Themuli is in the prime position to make up 2 places if he plays his cards right here. Always a great position to be in with two cars ahead of you in a battle. Oh, Jari Katila loses so much time through the second to last corner. Themuli has to back off it. Alpacin makes the move up into P16, but now Themuli needs to play the cards right, and he could make up potentially 2 positions here, but potentially a little bit too lenient through the final corner to catch up to Al. But he's going to try and force his way through. Not around the outside, surely. They're both in the slipstream of Alpacin. An amazing draft. Themuli trying to go around the outside. He gets around the outside on Jari. Oh, but he's gone off, and it's a disaster. A slight tap from Jari, and Themuli loses a place. Yeah. Unlucky.
Yeah, with his wedge just went a bit too wide, and it was a disaster for Teomole, who lost everything there.
Great stuff though. Yoni's caught up to the back of Jari. Goes for a move but doesn't quite pull it off, as we've got Dark together with Pekka Koivunen. Pekka Koivunen dropping back quite a lot in this race, and Dark goes for the move into a corner where you don't really want to see cars going side by side. And well, the result is that Dark is going to lose a ton of time there, and we'll have to regain that time later on.
Yeah, plenty of time to catch up again, as we are on lap 9 out of 22, so not even halfway. As we are now switching to Jani Katila following Iron Donny.
So Donny just got through into the chicane, and Jari drops back into Themuli's range again. So maybe Themuli can have another go at trying to get past Jari.
Yeah, he better now goes for the inside, not outside.
Let's watch from Jari's view. We've got Master off ahead, so these two coming up to a car that's having a lot of trouble on the track. Actually, there's been a crash involving Master and Perry D. Perry D off the track at the final corner. We're still watching Jari, who was there overtaken by Themuli, but Master has been off, so too has Perry D, and those two super slow up ahead. Here is Perry D, currently in P16. Jari goes into the pit lane to serve his mandatory pit stop, as we have TJ 2.8 seconds in the lead of Zesty for Sidus. Then it's Pekka Koivunen in the background there, with Doctor very, very close behind. Sorry, Dark close behind, followed by Doctor. And then it's Connix and Lucas for Road Appraiser, all pretty much within touching distance of one another. And then we get to the cars that have already made their pit stops. Gabor closing up to the back of Johnny SVK. Gabor now 19 seconds off the lead, and that is probably enough time to be clearly in the lead by the time the rest of the drivers ahead pit. Although it would be close. I think TJ, if he pitted now, would emerge 1 second ahead based off the pit stop times from the previous race. So TJ still in theory, Michael, in the lead here.
Yeah, and let's not forget that Gabor now might be kept at the back by Johnny SVK, who's right in front of him.
Well, we've got a long straight coming up, so let's see if he can keep his cool and get through. He'll have a slipstream. TJ will not, as Zesty sets the fastest lap of the race. So clearly he wants to gain time as well. 2.6 seconds though, it's a lot to ask, as Gabor has a slipstream now on Johnny SVK, who pits. And Gabor is released. Let's see what the gap is at the line to our race leaders. Up to 19 seconds again. We've got Dark and Pekka in a fight, Michael. It looks like Dark is through.
Yeah, Dark is through, but looks like Pekka is not happy with that, and I'm sure he will try to get back in the following straight. Although there is a little gap in between them right now. Looks like Dark is out of the danger zone, so that's a position stick for him. So it's TJ leading, followed by new side to entry Zestri, and his teammate Dark is now in P3. As we are now watching Iron Donny going into the battle with Alpazon, with Donny on the inside, Al on the outside. Let's see who gets ahead, and it looks like it was Iron Donny in the end, who was braver on the brakes. And Alpazon is now demoted to P15.
Yeah, Thamuli makes the move on Perry D. Perry D losing a bunch of time after his incident. And as the laps tick away, halfway coming up, TJ is the driver who is leading. And the crucial number to watch here is the gap between himself and Gabor. Gabor has already pitted, TJ has not. The sweet spot is about 17 and a half, 18 seconds. That's the gap that TJ needs to keep the lead after his pit stop, and it's mighty, mighty close. What would you do in this situation if you knew about it, Michael? Would you pit, or would you keep track position and just hope that you are ahead when you come out?
Well, since they are at pretty similar pace, and looking at the track map, there is a lot of free space ahead of TJ. I would stay on the track for as long as I can, and hope that I can emerge from the pit lane just ahead of Gabor. But maybe TJ has different plans, so it's up to him to show us.
Yeah, let's see. Absolute scenes here, as we have a potential race battle on our hands. Gabor did set the fastest lap on the previous time round, an absolutely rapid time, 150.58 for Gabor, as we've got Doctor on Pekka Koivunen now. Pekka unfortunately dropping back potentially another place as Doctor moves to the inside for the back chicane here. Although Pekka, well, I thought Pekka might have the edge there, but he didn't. Doctor through and up to P4.
Yeah, I think it was a sensible decision for Pekka to lift and let the car on the inside get through, which still grants him a provisional P5, which is a great place to be at. And he's right at the tail of the Presa Doctor, so there's still a possibility of fighting back whenever Doctor decides to make some mistake. He even seems to be going a little defensive.
Yeah, important points in the championship. We've got Rex on the stream now. He's chasing Tallenberg. Rex, of course, had that issue earlier on, the incident, so he's trying to climb back up the order and catching now up to the Master Race Car driver. And we'll hopefully try to get a top 10. Onifus, he would have to get past Onifus if he wants a top 10. There are, of course, drivers still yet to pit ahead, but yeah, Rex will be hoping for as many places as he can. He might get one off Lucas here, who comes into a pit box in the brand new stake livery.
Rex is closing. Rex is now side by side with Tallenberg, and he's already passed, so that's 2 positions for Fragmaster Rex.
Yeah,
he's promoted into the top 10.
Gets his top 10 quicker than I thought he was going to get, as we've also got Happy D catching up to the back of Perry D out of the final corner, and this is going to be a pretty straightforward overtake. Happy D moves to the outside and should be through clear and easy by the time they arrive on the brakes, which he is. Similar situation between Mantas, who's had another shocking race down in P20 at the moment, in a fight with Friends United Rocket on the inside there in the green and red livery. Hearing that Rex has had an issue and is going to be caught potentially by Tallenberg by the time we get to the chicane. So an issue out of the previous corner for Tallenberg. Oh, there's a bump draft going on. Tallenberg does not fancy getting back past. So fair enough. Gives him a bit of a push. Come on, mate.
Looks like Rex is now out of the danger zone. He's still in P10, but it's possible that Tallenberg might get him, as Gabor is now 18 seconds behind TJ, so it's right on the edge of where TJ would emerge after the pit stop, I believe. We are on lap 14 now, so about 8-9 laps to go.
Yeah, fastest lap to Zesty. Zesty's catching TJ, but he needs to catch him quicker if he wants the win. Gabor's time is just tumbling, and the gap to TJ is now, as you said, in the danger zone. So, TJ loops the car. He's lost the car completely into the wall. An uncharacteristic error. Zesty just about avoids him, but TJ's written off any chances of winning this race now. Unbelievable. We just caught that as he went into the chicane. He completely lost the car. He's got horrendous suspension damage. The car's crabbing all over the road. We're going to see Gabor get past him on the track, but this is terrible for TJ's championship. He's going to lose a whole ton of points from this race. An uncharacteristic error there. A complete tank slapper loses the car, and TJ will go into the pit lane. He'll have to repair damage if he wants to even finish this race. But in the background there, you can see Gabor, who will almost certainly now have the race win after Zesty comes into the pit lane. There is pretty much no chance unless Zesty can pull something special out of the bag here, Michael. 15.7 seconds the gap.
Yeah, the right rear wheel of TJ is absolutely out of shape, so he definitely has to stop for repairs, and he's already down to P6 and still has about half a lap to go. Now dipping place to Richard Chen, so yeah, that's race hope for him.
Yeah, such a shame, really, considering that could have been a really close fight for the lead. But Gabor will be pretty pleased with himself right now. He's driving a very, very strong race. Remember, you can tune in to his Twitch channel as well. Another onboard available for you at twitch.tv/S1DUS Gabor. So yeah, thanks to him for streaming his perspective. You can go and check that out. And he begins lap 15 for himself. And the gap is now 16 seconds. So Zesty starting to turn the screws once again. This isn't over by any means. If Zesty keeps this pace up and keeps scoring fastest laps, which he is at the moment, a 150.89 his previous lap time, he is doing a good job so far as TJ makes his way into his pit box.
Yeah, TJ from P9 has stopped for the repairs. He was stationary for about 19 seconds and has dropped to P18 so far, and it should be his position when he leaves the pit lane now. So yeah, TJ from the lead of the race, somewhat comfortable lead, down to P18 after an unforced error, and that promotes Zesty to a provisional lead. And so far, Gabor has the advantage after the pit stop, but Zesty is having a pretty impressive pace, so anything can happen in the remaining 7 laps or so.
Yeah, but just to give you an indication of how bad Mantas's afternoon has been, even after that incident, TJ comes out ahead of him by almost, over 10 seconds ahead of him as well. I mean, Mantas is he's out of form in the Fox, absolutely crazy. So yeah.
Could be a difficult day at work, so let's not blame him for poor performances tonight. I'm sure he will bounce back next week.
Yep, so Zesty comes through to start another lap. Lap 16 on the board, and the gap to Gabor is going up. I reckon another three quarters of a second, Michael. If Zesty can find that time then he has almost certainly cemented his first win for Sidus on our broadcasts. This is a special one for Zesty if he can manage it. Beating his teammate in his first race, well, actually his second race, is pretty good going if he can manage it.
Yeah, absolutely. And he has about 8 laps to do so. So if he's able to cut away a tenth or so per lap, he should be able to reclaim the lead after the pit stop. But that's still a very difficult task to ask for. So let's hope he doesn't make any unforced error, as there are 2 cars somewhat close in front of him that are a lap down. Other than that, there should be no one stopping him from doing fast laps. So let's see how that will evolve. As we are watching Roger Preza Lucas and P10 being under pressure from Master Race Cars Conix. So far, still safe from any attack, but looks like Conix is having a better pace at the moment and should be right at the tail in no time.
Well, these two have been together for a little bit. We do have other drivers in battles as well, as well as this one. But yeah, Gabor, I'm really interested to see the gap. Gabor's gap has gone up by another 10.5 in the previous sector, so Zesty is absolutely on it at the moment. We've also got Happy D, Thamuli and Al Payson arguably closer than these guys, so let's check them out as they come into the latter part of the lap here. Happy D at the back of the train gets a good exit and could have a run on Thamuli here. Does he go for the move? Yes, he does. Brave into the third to last. Thamuli does leave him plenty of room, but good driving from both of them there as they make their way up to the final complex of corners. This is great to see. Thamuli trying to make the move back, but it doesn't quite work out as we then run to the final corner. Al Payson allowed a little bit of room here.
Yeah, Al Payson is running away as the 2 behind him are battling and losing time to him. As Happy D is going now side by side with Mole Happy D on the outside. There's a little rubbing, little contact which we don't want to see in the open wheelers. And looks like Happy D on the inside is having the advantage. He breaks late, goes wide, and is now again under pressure side by side with Mole, but looks like Happy D might have lower downforce than his fellow competitor. So he might be ahead into the chicane as he already slots ahead, and that's position stick for Happy D in P14 so far. Let's see how quickly he can manage to catch Al Payson, as there's a battle between Conix and Lucas going side by side into the chicane. Very late move, and Conix has to yield. So that's a position lost for him for now. He's in P11 currently, and Lucas in P10. So that's a great battle for the final place in top 10. As Jarek Attila has spun, let's hope he doesn't have crash with anyone else going through at full speed. Zesty is still leading, and the gap to Gabor is now 16.3 seconds. I don't think that's enough, but there's still about 5 laps to go, as Happy D is now under pressure from...
Happy D got through on Payson there, and now we'll try and open the gap as we see Gabor getting past Doctor, who's been in the pit lane, and rejoins ahead of Tallenberg, but just gets overtaken by Rex. So Doctor goes from P4 down to P8 after his pit stop. Not too many places lost, but not too many drivers left to serve their pit stop either. Just 4 cars in the top 10 left to stop, as we've got Conix on Lucas now. Once again, these two fighting it out. Red versus green. Master Race Car versus Roda Preza. Stake livery looks nice on the Fox, doesn't it? It's quite nice, as Conix will press home his advantage there. But those two are going to be fighting to the end, I think. The gap between Gabor and our race leader currently sits at 16.5 seconds. So still, Zesty is able to open up the gap more and more. Really, really impressive. And Mantas is retired. He's gone. He's left.
Yeah, he has decided that enough is enough and has retired from this race, as Conix is side by side with Lucas for P10 into the chicane, and Lucas still keeps the position so far. but it looks like Onyx seems to be having a better pace, but can't find the way around. Still about 4 laps to go for him to make anything out of that. Currently, the gap in between them has grown a bit, so I don't think there will be any opportunity for the remaining of this lap. Stimule is now pressurizing Alpezan in P14. This is getting pretty close, but this fast section of weak turns is not very good for the dirty air, so he has to wait a little bit, possibly for the start-finish straight. As the gap between Zesty and Gabor is now 16.5 seconds, so that's still right on the edge, but I think Gabor should have a little advantage after Zesty pits, assuming nothing terrible happens to him on the way in or out.
Yeah, not bad, but the gap does open up a bit to Alpecin there then. As we've got TJ trying to recover some places after his incident earlier on. The incident where he managed to bend his whole car and had to go into the pit lane and recover, and now goes on a move on Johnny SVK. Nice move into the first chicane, and through he goes, trying to recover as many points as possible as the laps count down and the race draws to a close here in round 8 of the 2024 season of Fragmaster's Fox Friday. Thank you very much for joining us. This, our 4th anniversary week on Sim Broadcasts, marking 4 years of broadcasting in Live for Speed and iRacing. A few stats for you, Michael, if you're into your stats. I know you're into your stats, but this is the 364th broadcast we've done, so almost a year's worth. One more and we would have made it one every 4 days, I think. Does that work out? Yes, it does. So almost once every 4 days for the last 4 years on average, as TJ gets through into P16 and moves up a place. Gabor on Pekka further forward, and that will put him into P3 if he can make this move.
Yeah, this is a crucial moment because he's been held up by Pekka at this point, and this actually helps us stay massively, as the gap is now about 17 seconds, should be around 17 seconds.
Oh, Gabor switched a load of... I'm absolutely fixated on this view on the bottom right here as he makes the overtake. Gabor he cycled his views, he went all the way around through Helicam to follow view and then back into his cockpit as he made that overtake. It's a brilliant insight into the way that he drives the car. Fairly unusual. I don't know how many other people utilise entire other views while they're driving, as we've got Rocket off the track here on the outside. Gabor managing to navigate, but fascinating. What's more fascinating is that Zesty is 17 seconds ahead. That's enough. Zesty can get out of the pit lane ahead, I think. It's going to be close. It might not be enough. I've said every single possibility to cover myself there, but it might not be enough. I think Zesty might need 7/10 more before he pits, but I don't know if it's possible. He has to pit this lap. I think we're going to have a side-by-side battle into turn 1 between Zesty and Gabor at the end of this lap. Don't go anywhere.
It's now 17.3 seconds between Zesty and Gabor, which is right on the edge, as Pekka Kevonen pits finally.
Yeah.
But we are mostly awaiting the pit stop of Cyrus Zesty, who has to pit at the end of this lap, and we are very curious to see whether he merges ahead or behind Gabor.
Well, I'm very excited about the way this is going to play out, because for once we have an onboard of a driver that we can play on the bottom right hand side of your screens and watch the race from the perspective of Zesty to see how this actually plays out. Sort of a cheaty picture-in-picture mode, if you like. So we'll see how this goes. I think that's the first time we've been able to use that for an actual lead battle. But 17.29 seconds now, the gap. I think Zesty, it's going to be so close. Let's see how this pans out. Gabor is pushing like hell for leather here to try and count down, to try and make that gap as small as possible by the time Zesty comes into the pit lane. It's not going to be long now. Let's pull up the view of Gabor as we watch on board from Zesty. Well, as we watch on the outboard from Zesty's point of view, Gabor's view in the bottom right-hand side. Zesty's going to pull into the pit lane, and Gabor is going to have to pray that he's done enough to try and get the win here and make it 2 from 2. But can Zesty, on his first Fox race on our broadcast for the Sidus team, make it work? Zesty into the pit lane, Gabor through the second to last corner. Is Zesty going to find a pit box? He has to absolutely nail this. Which box is he going to go for? Stop leisurely into the pit box. It wasn't the quickest, but he's now up to speed again, and Gabor is up to speed as well as he tears past the pit lane. Is it going to be enough? I think it's going to be very, very close, Michael. Look, you're going to be able to see Zesty on the bottom right of your screen. We're on the final lap, and he's done it. He's out by a huge amount. Oh, it's not that big, but it's big enough, just. Is Gabor going to have the slipstream? I think he is. Oh, it's not as big as it looked.
Yeah, this has to go defensive, and they might go side by side into the chicane. Unless Gabor sensibly decides to stay behind, he does so.
Oh, and he's compromised himself big time. He needs to close up the gap if he wants to try and get through. I think he thought he might have had a run into the chicane, but compromised himself on the exit. We've got battles going on elsewhere. We're well aware of it, but let's keep an eye on this fight between the two Sidus drivers. And Gabor's not close enough for a slipstream, Michael. Zesty might have him here. Look, he's going defensive. He's getting excited.
Yeah, Zesty is going defensive even though he doesn't need to. And looks like Gabor is slowly catching, but he's running out of opportunities to make the pass. I think there are only 2 or 3 more opportunities that could arise. But so far he's still out of the danger zone.
Yeah, epic stuff here, and we are approaching the final complex of corners. 3 to go now, before the end of this race, and Zesty is fully in command and opening up the gap. I don't think Gabor has time. I don't think he's going to be close enough out of the final corner. Zesty has to keep it super smooth, super committed if he wants to take the win in race 2. Gabor wins race 1, but it's going the way of Zesty. They're through the penultimate corner. 1 corner to go for Zesty. Keep it pinned, and he'll have his win ahead of the guy who's been dominating Live for Speed in recent times. But he's done it. Zesty's going to get the win, Michael.
Yeah, this was a
Great
fantastic win from Zesty in his first race for Sidus, as he beats Gabor by 44 hundredths of a second, and Rajichan completes the podium 5 seconds behind him. So yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic performance from Zesty, and I'm again salty that he's no longer in Master Race car because we need wins. But yeah, fantastic job from him.
Brilliant stuff. Yeah, I'm really happy for him. That's a great way to make your mark on your debut, beating the guy who has done it all. Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. Gabor did get the fastest lap, 150.11, but it's not good enough to take the win, unfortunately. Interesting strategic call from Gabor, and yeah, that's the way it happens sometimes. You make the risky call and it just doesn't pay off. But there you go. You saw it here first. Zesty takes the win ahead of his teammate Roger Chen. A little bit under the radar, but finishes a very strong P3. Dark in P4. Onifus 5th. Rex 6th. Dr. Koivunen, Connix and Lucas your top 10. And we will wait to see the rest of the cars across the line before we call the rest of the order. Looks like we'll get Finn UK across the line last. To call our order here, so just waiting a few seconds for that to happen. Here he comes down to start finish, and that should be a nice flourish to the finish there, and that should be everybody.
Yeah, that looked like 21 finishers, which is fewer than we had in the first race.
Well, some people decide that one race is quite enough for a Friday evening, and I don't blame them. This is a lot of effort to turn this many laps, 44 laps around Westhill International Reverse this evening. But there we go. That is the job done. 41 minutes 11 seconds in race 2 for Zesty, ahead of Gabor by 0.4 of a second in that fantastic last lap showdown. And yeah, it's great to see a battle like that after 40 minutes coming down to the last corner, basically. Brilliant stuff. Roger Chen 5 seconds back in P3, a great performance by him. Then we've got Dark in P4, Onifus, Rex, Doctor, Pekka Koivunen and Connex rounding out the top 10. Iron Donny, Tallenberg, Happy D, TJ Thamuli, Payson, Johnny SVK, Perry D, Yari Tiller and Rocket are your top 20. Then over on the second page of results, we'll have just one remaining finisher, followed by a bunch of DNFs. It's Finn UK and P21, with Mantas not finishing, Master, Twincam, Gui, Adal, Hosep, Hermani, Ricardo and Badaruk also not finishing. So yeah, not the best afternoon for them. It didn't go all the way of Zesty because Gabor did manage to get the fastest lap in race 2 in the end. But that was a fantastic race, one for the ages, I think, that one.
It was a great race, and Zesty really fills the headline news tonight. After switching to a new team, he wins one of the races tonight. And I think he proves that he belongs into the Sidus, which is a team consisting of the greatest drivers in the first speed. So, yeah, he proves that he belongs there. And from the Master Race car, we wish him all the best in the future, and hope to have a good race with him still.
Yep, absolutely do. I wish him well. I'm sure he's pretty happy that he's made the right decision to switch to that team, and I'm sure he'll enjoy himself. But yeah, we'll have to wait to see how the future races for him unfold, because of course one race does not make you a great driver. It certainly helps, but we'll have to see how he develops in the Sidus team. I'm sure we'll see more of this sort of performance as he gets to work with the best in the business at the moment in the speed. Someone who we maybe thought was going to do perhaps a little bit better this round was Mantas. It just didn't go particularly well for him this time round. Westhill International reversed for round 8 of the championship is a wrap, and we will be back in a few weeks' time in March to bring you all the action in round 11 of the championship on the 15th of March. We do not yet know the combination for that. That will be announced the week of the race, so please stay tuned for that. But don't worry, Fox Friday is available for you to drive and join every single Friday of the year. We're broadcasting one round a month, so please join us for those. And in the meantime, go and do some practice, join some Fox Friday races, and maybe we'll see you on the grid in round 11. Michael, summarise the round and send the viewers away for the action for today.
Yeah, I'm sure we've seen some beautiful racing tonight. A lot of unforced errors on this very great and challenging track, and I'm sure that we will see more of that the following broadcast in March. I think March 15th. As Pete said, we don't know where the track will be decided the week before, but we will keep you informed, and we will both look forward to that wonderful event with Zesty now being in the Sidus, and let's hope that no one else leaves my team. So, yeah.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, well,
we are hiring.
Yeah, MRC are hiring. Yeah, they're definitely hiring now after Zesty has painted a pretty clear picture. But yeah, no. MRC also celebrating their 15th anniversary in Live for Speed in a week's time.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know if we're allowed to announce what's happening for that. Are we allowed?
I think we are not allowed, but
okay.
I think I'm allowed to announce that something is going to be announced very soon as a part of our 15-year celebrations. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I nearly let the cat out of the bag there. It's a little bit late in the day. You guys should get around to announcing that, definitely, because it is next weekend. So yeah, get it done, because we know what's happening, and I nearly let the cat out of the bag. I think I just assumed that you guys had announced it. But anyway, this was all she wrote for Fragmaster's Fox Friday, and we hope to see you in the following week. We have Fernbay Gold with the Skoda 110L rally car for Roni's Tuesday Fun Race Season 1 Round 4. That's on Tuesday. And then there's something from MRC next week, which we can't talk about yet. But then we do have on Sunday, round 3 of the New Dimension Racing GT2 Challenge returns to our screens with South City Long with the GT2 class. We can't wait for that next weekend. It's going to be a busy one. I'll let you know. But there we go. Michael and the team will share the news from Master Race Car. But that's everything from tonight's action at FM. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope to see you at the next one. So from all of us here at Sim Broadcasts, you have yourself a good weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, Michael. Thanks for everybody for watching. And a great race there at the end between Gabor and Zesty. It's great to see this sort of action happening in the for speed down on the final lap, even into 2024. So great to be with you, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one. Good night.
Good night, everyone.